What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Early Wedge Fall Edition. My name is Sia Nejad. We got Jason Sobel. We got Patrick McDonald. We got Rick Gehman. We got Zach Kasenki in the chat. Farzad. Justin Bowman. This is our jump-off point, gentlemen. Says, I got a funny feeling that Sia will give us the winning outright this week. Rick, I'm feeling good about this week, which is strange because I haven't had a good fall swing, if I'm being honest. How you feeling about this tournament?
I feel pretty good. First off, any week in the fall where we get a, full field with a cut, great. Let's do it. There's a pretty good combination of, the two Ryder Cuppers that are here, plus guys that we've seen a lot in the fall. So yeah, I'm happy. I'm ready to rock and roll.
Patrick, it is the Worldwide Technology Championship, worldwide mouthful for sure. El Cardinal at Diamante, par 72, just short of 7,500 yards. Is there a certain type, pass Palm through and through, is there a certain type of golfer? This does feel like with the 2 years we've been here, we see the scorecard, Josh has put that up. Does feel like most games can win here. Is there a game you're honing in on, though?
Not necessarily. I think you kind of hit the nail on the head. Only 8 rounds we've seen at this golf course. Obviously, you have to go out there and score. It's a resort-style golf course. I think in the first year, Adam Long hit like 1 million fairways in a row. He set a PGA Tour record. I think the average is like 90% of fairways hit. So kind of similar, honestly, to Utah. We saw the wind kind of perk up there at some points of the Bank of Utah Championship. Hopefully that happens this week too, to kind of make it a little bit interesting so these guys don't get 25 under or whatever it may be. And I do have to give a shout out to Justin Bowman and his Maple Leafs taking it to the pins in the third period last night. Just a brutal way to go to bed for the kid. But unfortunately, we take the L's on the chin, and hopefully none of those this week either.
We've got a long shot section, a parlay and long shot section on this show. And if I saw it correctly, Patrick McDonald has somehow managed to incorporate an HSBC top 10 finish with an anytime touchdown score, which you all are going to be very interested in. Jason, it reminds me of one of your parlays, which again, one of them hit for $1,000 a couple of weeks ago. It was a $1.11 wager. But let's get to what Patrick said. This is a good place for our storylines because this is a resort course. Unless the wind really picks up, the scores are going to be really low. Talk to me about what you're expecting here at El Cardinal.
Yeah, so basically give the edge to the guys who normally can't find a fairway because, like Patrick said, you're going to find them this week. The 4 of us could go find fairways out there spraying it around El Cardinal. It's a resort golf course. We don't have shot link data, so we're flying blind a little bit. Maybe Rick's going to tell me that he has a secret stash of shot link data somewhere, but for the most part, we don't have that. And so we're just basically going on what we've seen over the last couple of years. 27 under 2 years ago. And remember, 2 years ago was the first time they played at El Cardinal. And last year was 24 under. But if you recall, it was windy on Thursday. Only 67, 5 under was the lead after the opening round. So I think they get to 30 under this week. This is going to be a race to get to that big number. And whoever makes the most birdies is going to win this thing.
Rick, what's the deal? You got a secret stash over there at Rick Run Good?
Not this week. I've got secret stashes of a lot of things. Shot link data from El Cardinal is not one of them, but these guys are right. I think if you hit 90% of the fairways last year, you were like T27 or something like that in driving accuracy. Just a ludicrous amount of fairways being hit. So these two guys have put together a pretty good preview.
So last time we were here, we had a tournament that I don't think any of us thought Michael Brennan was necessarily going to win, Rick. But I did notice when I was doing the research, what was that? The Bay Current? What? I'm in football mode.
No, he won the Black Desert.
I'm sorry, the Black Desert, of course.
Guys, he won the Bank of Utah Championship. Come on.
Yeah, that's on me.
Respect to the financial institutions.
Bay Current is the one that we actually don't have strokes data from either because of how messed up that was. But Michael Brennan, what I was noticing, Rick, going into that tournament, the Black Desert, was that his line, like not just the outright line, but his matchups, like he was getting a lot of respect. And I remember looking at it being like, God, I guess I should be on this guy in some capacity. But then I said to myself, well, it's not like he's going to win or anything. Okay, so he won and everything. So talk to me about Michael Brennan because I don't think people know what to expect this week.
Yeah, I think, and I don't either. But I think that's one of the most interesting things we've got going on for this week and maybe over the course of the next couple of starts is you've got this guy who, wins 3 times on PGA a Tour Americas, snaps off and gets the victory in Southern Utah. And then it's like, well, now what? Are we going to get more of the same? Is he just going to be able to keep this rolling, or is he going to fall victim to what we see a lot of these guys do, which is that like sigh of relief. Okay, I've got my card locked up. I can take a break. I can celebrate. I can do all this stuff. And I don't know what the answer is, but I'm interested to learn, because he has a really compatible skill set for the modern PGA Tour, especially for some of these weaker field events. So just somebody that I probably will not have a ton of exposure to, but will absolutely be favorited in all my apps because I want to know what he's up to.
Patrick, Rick was talking about people getting their PGA Tour card. That is certainly something that is up for grabs this week, not just here, but on the DP World Tour as well, correct?
Yeah, that's what really has my attention these next 2 weeks, is the top 10 not otherwise exempt on the DP World Tour trying to get into the PGA Tour. And this is the third year they've done it, but it really hasn't been, I would say, that successful for those Europeans who have come over. You look at the 10 who did so last year, the top guy was Rasmus Højgaard, and he's like mid-70s in the FedEx Cup. You got Olesen, who's fighting for a spot on the PGA Tour. I think he just snuck in the top 100 maybe with that finish in Utah. He's right around the bubble is what I'm trying to say. And then everyone else is like, you got to scroll all the way down to the top, like 150. They're all around that spot. Matteo Montecero, Tristan Lawrence, guys like that. But this group of players feels a little bit different, I would say. You have 7 of them who are 30 or older, the top 10 going into the postseason for the DP World Tour. Like Marco Penge is in the mix. He's one of the guys under 30. Alex Noren, he kind of has a weird way where he could get his card through the PGA Tour potentially if he's inside the top 100. He can get it through the top 10 in the DP World Tour. Also, that's kind of potentially going to open up another spot on the European side, maybe. And guys like Hao Tong Lee, Daniel. Oh my God, is it Brown?
Daniel Brown.
Yeah, Daniel Brown, the author. Like guys who have been in major championship contention before. So I'm interested to see who the top 10 ultimately is, but I think it's a good crop coming this year from Europe to the PGA Tour. And I'm thinking like 4 out of 10 keep their cards going into 27.
Rick, any follow-up thoughts there?
No, I was probably higher on some of those Euros than anybody. I was waiting for like Nicholas Norgard to take over the PGA Tour. That didn't happen. But Marco Penge is the one, right? Yeah. He's the guy that has kind of elevated his game significantly thanks to the DP World Tour over the last year or so. And Patrick is right in the sense that like there's this learning curve that we've seen a lot of guys battle, whether it's the schedule, the new courses, the new routine, all of that stuff. It's very difficult to do. He's the one that I've got my eye on for 26.
Laurie,
I'm as big a Marco Penge fan as there is out there. I think the guy's game actually translates better to the PGA Tour than it does the DP World Tour. I'm just a little worried, especially with today's news, that he's going to be playing on either one of those tours next year. Just little murmurs and rumors out there. I hope not. But
talk about a gamble?
Nice one, Patrick. What news are you referring to, Jason?
Well, there's a certain tour out there that used to play 54 holes. It was branded so much that they named their tour with a Roman numeral of 54, and now they're going to be playing 72 holes. I believe that's LXXII.
You think he's going to? You think Penge is a candidate to be a live golfer under the assumption they are going to start earning OWGR points and have access to major championships?
I would say that it's much easier today than it was yesterday for Liv to try to woo some of these players. And I think he's at least someone that they've reached out to. They say, hey, this guy's going to be a tremendous talent for a long time to come. He hits it a mile. He wins golf tournaments. He's a fun dude. We'd like to have him on our tour. And so I think that for those who were thinking about it, if you were 20% yesterday with today's news, and I don't see how the official World Golf Ranking can't give them ranking points if they're playing legit 4-round 72-hole tournaments, maybe you're 30% today, maybe you're 40%. I don't know how much that shifts for some of the players that were on the fence a little bit, but certainly the news isn't a demerit. It's not a disadvantage from what you were thinking before.
Yeah. Patrick, Rick, go ahead.
I was just gonna say last thing, like Jason's absolutely right. I just wonder, like, how quickly the OWGR stuff could happen. Although I guess they have until their season probably doesn't start until February, so I guess there is a little bit of runway to try. I mean, not the OWGR historically moves very, very slowly,
Yes.
but yeah, I guess no, Jason's absolutely right. I just wonder what the timing could be.
And even if it's not immediate, even if it takes a year, at least, you sign a 3 or 4 year contract. You're like, okay, you know what? I'll just play over here for a while and get paid. And then starting in 2027, I might start earning those points. And I'm confident in myself that 2 years from now, I'll still be a pretty good player.
Yeah. Patrick, final word here.
No, I think under the leadership of Scott O'Neill, they've made it the path much wider to gain more players through like non-monetary means, if that makes sense, right? You have pathways to major championships and all of them at this point. We just saw Tom McKibben win the Hong Kong Open. He's in the Masters in the Open, which kind of lifts that avenue up as well. And so, yeah, this obviously helps them also. If I was them, I would make every tournament with a cut now too. Just stick it to the PGA Tour a little bit.
Remove the shotgun start.
Keep that maybe. And I mean, I will say the coolest part about them going to 72 holes is it's an extra opportunity every week for someone to shoot 54 and potentially get that $54 million bonus from Yasser.
Finally.
I need that to happen still.
The merger, though, that's like happening tomorrow, right, guys?
Yes, of course.
We keep hearing about the
moments away.
It'll be on CNBC tomorrow morning.
We're only like 2.5 years into a framework agreement, so we still got the framework.
All right. Well, we got to hone in on the Worldwide Technology Championship. We're going to do that. We're going to go first round leaders. We've got matchups, outrights. You know how we do it here on the Early Wedge. We'll cover it all right after this message from our partners.
When you need your sports news all the time,
we've got breaking news to bring to you.
CBS Sports HQ gives you a snapshot of all the sports that matter to you. When you need your sports in a snap, find it on CBS Sports HQ, streaming free anywhere you are.
I know that Josh behind the camera right now is just like, he probably had so much of his opinion to shed on what we were just talking about with Liv. And we got to get to our first round leaders. So Josh, we are going to get your take at some point on this, but let's get to our first round leaders. And of course I have a handful. I've got 4 of them, but Jason, we're going to start with you. Austin Eckroat was a name I was considering just for this tournament in general. You got him and Trevor Cohn.
Yeah, so as I mentioned earlier, last year it was 5 under 67 that was the opening round lead. There were 3 players who shot that score. It was windy that day. This week, nothing on Thursday. It's a 5-mile-an-hour wind. It's going to be 90 degrees. They're going to go low. Austin Eckroat shot the low score on Sunday last year en route to his victory, shot a 63. Looking for him to go back-to-back with the low round of the day at El Cardinal. He's starting to play some better golf, struggled for most of this year, but is coming around a little bit. And then complete dart throw. Look, first-round leader bets are always dart throws where we don't have shot link data on a golf course that we haven't seen a whole lot. It's a huge dart throw, but Trevor Cohn, big hitter. I'm favoring the big hitters a little bit this week. Hits it a mile, doesn't have great accuracy, but that's okay. Like we said, you're going to hit fairways by mistake this week, not even trying to do it. Trevor Cohn is 150 to 1. And oh, by the way, he shot 68 or better in 5 of his last 7 opening round tournaments.
Wow.
A note on Trevor Cohn, Virginia Tech Hokie. He's got a Virginia Tech Hokie on the bag, his former teammate from Virginia Tech Golf. If they hire James Franklin before Thursday, Jason, this is a home run. Absolute home run.
I didn't know that. I didn't know he was a Hokie. All right.
Oh, yeah.
You don't want to hold out for Shane Beamer.
I'm over it. Give me Franklin recruits the area well.
Patrick McDonald, you've got a single bullet. You love doing this. And when you do, it often hits. Talk to me about Nick Taylor.
Yeah, Nick Taylor. This guy kind of just wins golf tournaments out of the blue. He hasn't played since the Tour Championship, but you're getting him at 55 to 1 for the first round leader. Also just going to bet him to win this golf tournament as well. You think, okay, tropical area. When's the last time Nick Taylor played in like a kind of tropical area? Sony Open. What do you do? He won that golf tournament. But yeah, I think just generally, he's probably one of the better players, top 5, top 10 type of player in this field. He made it all the way to the Tour Championship. And so I'm going to really lean on that talent, knowing I don't know where his form's at, considering we haven't seen him since the Tour Championship. And I think at 55 to 1, that's a risk I'm willing to take.
All right, Rick, you've got a couple of names here. I like all three of these names, and you'll see when we get to the outright card. A couple of these guys are on my card. What do you got?
I could make a case for 100 guys to be the first one, quite honestly.
Yeah.
The three that I've identified. So Max Grazerman, I'm trying to catch him coming out of that little fall slump that he had. He played much better the last time that we saw him. And I think his skill set, when he's at full strength, the skill set is like longest club in his bag, shortest club in his bag, can kind of be weapons for him, go out and shoot something really low. He's 35-1, trying to be early here. I'll jump down to David Ford, who's 90-1. Talked about him a couple weeks ago, immense talent. He ended up finishing fourth at the event in Southern Utah. And just like, you're going to see this kid a lot more. And then William Mao is probably like the model darling of these three, because he won 4 or 5 starts ago. And I still think there is like room for him to improve. There is juice to squeeze out of the metrics and out of his profile. So I think we are going to get some pretty strong play from William Mao moving forward. And when I saw 65-1 in an 18-hole sprint, like I said, I could make a case for a lot of these guys, but Mao was certainly on the short list.
I mean, a guy that can get red hot, right? And especially red hot with the putter, like he did at the ISCO, where he came back from 7 shots down going into Sunday to win. I like William Mao as well, 65-1. A couple of guys that I think are birdie makers. Jacob Bridgman's been a little flat as of late. He's 50-1. I mean, the profile I think is pretty good. He's never going to be great off the tee. The mid to long iron play can always be very good for him, and he can absolutely get hot with the putter. So I think this is a pretty good Jacob Bridgman spot. Nico Echeverria, not a guy I normally take, not a guy that's on my outright card, but can absolutely pile up the birdies. And if memory serves, last year he was also very good here. I think it was maybe a T6. Sami Valimaki, I mean, I love this profile, especially for 18 holes. A guy that can get red hot with the putter, sometimes, of course, and who can get red hot with the approach play. I think Sami Valimaki is like a really, like your prototypical first round leader option, like it at 90-1. Let's move on to tournament matchups. And we've only got a few here. Rick, I'll start with you. You got a couple.
Yeah, you mentioned kind of the flatness out of Jacob Bridgman recently, so I'm going to pick on him a little bit here, and you'll kind of see me roll with similar idea. Like, I'm just going to go with talent. Like David Ford, I think, is incredibly talented. Johnny Kiefer, I think, is incredibly talented. He just won Korn Ferry Tour Player of the Year and Rookie of the Year in the same year. Third time to ever do that. Patrick, do you know the other two?
Scotty Scheffler and Tiger Woods.
No. Sanjay.
Sung J M, yes.
By the way, okay. So we did this on radio yesterday, and because Carl Paulson played on the Korn Ferry back then, buy.com or whatever, and he was like, no, that's not right, because Stuart Sink won 3 times in his rookie year and got to the tour. He was Player of the Year. The Rookie of the Year award started in 2018, so there would have been a whole lot of other Rookie of the Year and Player of the Year. So when we say there's only 3, that's only because they've only had the award for 7 years.
So 3 in 7 years, it happens like half the time.
Tiger robbed.
Either way, Johnny Kiefer plus money over Jacob Bridgman. And then Sam Ryder is probably the model play here. I think that and it's over Patrick Rogers. There is a case to be made, and this might stink, that this could be just like a putting contest. You know, you have big greens where like 3-putt avoidance is going to come into play. Approach putt performance is going to come into play. You're going to have a lot of these putts to make from 10 to 15 feet to try to win this birdie fest and get to 25 under par. The guy that just makes a lot of putts is going to have a really good chance here. Sam Ryder is that guy for me. So one model play and one guy that I just am excited to see the talent for in the next 12 months.
Jason, Nico Echeverria is another guy that can get hot with the putter, but you've got him plus 205 against the shortest odds guy, Ben Griffin.
Well, you mentioned it. You can get hot with a putter. You said earlier he was tied for 6th here a year ago. I think Echeverria is one of the more underrated players on the PGA Tour. He's a 2-time winner. Coulda, shoulda, woulda been 3 times earlier this year. But he's a guy that I like. I think his game's very good. I've said throughout this year that if this was a President's Cup year, he would have been knocking on the door to make that international team. And I wouldn't be surprised if he makes the team next year. I don't like fading Ben Griffin, but you're giving me more than 2-1 to take Nico Echeverria over 72 holes. That's like a 4 or 5 point underdog in a football game to win outright. I'll take that. I like that number.
All right. I mean, it's certainly a good number, plus 205. I've got Thorbjorn Olesen. This is pretty juicy, minus 140 over Keith Mitchell. Speaking of model darlings, Rick, I mean, this guy is just tagging the ball. The ball striking has been really, really good. The overall game has been really good for him as well. Keith Mitchell was good at the Bay Current. So, I mean, I guess that's a bit of a watch out T10. But other than that, this guy hasn't been good at all. So I'm willing to pay the minus 140 on a tournament matchup there. And then I'm going with a round 1 3-ball. Pearson Cootie's group is like the last one out. They go out at 2:44, whatever time, Mexico, Cabo's time or what have you. Pearson Cootie is, or is it Eastern time? I don't know. Either way.
Oh, they're on the West Coast with me.
Feeling 2 hours.
That's a short flight for me. It's I think they're
2 hours for us. Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Lead you into Thursday night football.
Yeah, they're on.
I love that. I love that. Okay, so Pearson Cootie minus 105. Listen, the 3-ball, I don't like to pay minus 105. The way Rakuya Hashino has been playing, I don't think he's really going to factor in. I see this. I mean, listen, this type of course, anybody can have a nice round. But Pearson Cootie's been playing really, really good golf over the last few tournaments. I think he's kind of found his game a little bit. Sapin is a guy that I think is super erratic. I'm not super worried about either of these guys in Hashino and Sapin. So I think Cootie minus 105 is actually a good number, even though it's a 3-ball. Anybody have any objections to my play? Is Sapin a guy that people like Jason? Is that a guy you kind of like?
He was my favorite player coming off the Corn Ferry last year. I've been waiting 11 months for him to do something. He's had a really poor season. He's got Damon Green, Zach Johnson's old caddy on the bag, which should help. I think he's coming around a little bit. Look, for a round 1 play, you're right. Cootie's been playing much better than either of those two, so I don't mind it whatsoever. But I'm still waiting. I think there's something in there for Sapin. He's going to get it. It's just not quite there yet.
Oh, did I mess that up? It's Sapin and not Sapin. Okay, right. My bad. Okay.
I like Sapin.
Nick Saban. All right, let's go to finishing positions next. Did we cover everything? We did, right? Yeah, we covered everything here. We'll go to Patrick next because you've got a couple finishing positions, one of which I have as well. And I'll tell you the best number is at BetMGM. Make it legendary. Patrick, make this take legendary. Who do you like in the top 40 market?
David Lipsky at plus 125. I feel like he's kind of been your guy. See, I've been hanging out with you too much where Lipsky, it's the fall swing when he's like kind of been a sexy name. It feels like. I feel like it's been bouncing around the industry, as the insiders say. But he's been putting a lot better really since the middle of the summer, I would say. And he finished T6 last year, accurate hitter of the golf ball, hitting it fine. That's kind of what he's more known for if he is known for anything. So top 40, I think, is more than doable at plus 125. And then last week, I was actually watching highlights of the 2024 Bermuda Championship because that's typically what you do over the weekend. And Justin Lauer, top 40 plus 125. He was missing that final round with Rafa Campos, Andrew Novak, and Justin Lauer. Those guys missed a combined, I think, 10 putts from inside 3 feet. It was absolutely bonkers looking back on it. But he's someone who played well in this tournament. He finished third in Utah also, and kind of is a streaky player where once he gets it going, he has like 2 to 3 tournaments where he plays well, I think. And so top 40 at plus 125 is another swing I'm going to take.
Hang on a second. Can we rewind just for a second here? So, Patrick, you were saying you spent last weekend rewatching the Bermuda
2024 Bermuda Championship. Yeah.
I have follow-up questions.
Please, I mean, what do you do on your weekend? I'm in the lab.
Watch regular season PGA Tour events, not
it was an off week, man. I was in the lab. I'm 2 steps ahead of you. I'm playing chess.
Never let it be said that Patrick McDonald is not prepared.
I absolutely love that. I'm also on David Lipsky, top 40 plus 125. Yeah, a guy I like and who was really flashing. And then there was a couple, maybe 2-3 tournaments in a row at the beginning of the fall swing, I believe, where he faded a little bit. I thought he was okay last time out, just like his game in general. I'll take the plus 125. I do think he found something over the last 4 or 5 months. William Mao, we've talked about him, top 40 plus 110. I think he's the type of guy, same with Lipsky to some degree, where maybe top 40 is not the right play. Maybe a top 20 in like the plus 330 range maybe is the type of play. Because I think Mao is going to be very hit or miss here. And if he's hit, I do see him inside the top 20 potentially. So I'm going to take him top 40 at plus money still. Again, you hit one of these two, you're still making money. But I do think Mao's the type of guy where you could just go ahead and go a little bit bigger, maybe try to go top 20. All right, Rick Gehman, David Ford, David Skins.
Yeah, I'll just throw a couple more Davids in there. Yeah, how about that? So David Ford, top 20, plus 360. I've spoke a lot about him over the course of just this show and previous weeks. David Skins, top 40 at plus 125. So he's been flushing it. I love the approach numbers. We've got a putting problem, but I like the idea of getting on a resort golf course past Palm. Generally runs slower, generally easier to read. If you're going to go out and find a place to roll the rock a little bit better, this should be on the higher end of things. And even if he doesn't, like, if he loses 3 strokes putting, he could still conceivably finish inside the top 40 in a field like this. So if he gets to a 0 with the flat stick, it's, I don't want to call it a guarantee, but like that's kind of the thing that I'm looking at here for David Skins.
Guarantee it, Rick. Do it.
No,
That's the false swing.
Guarantee. I'm guaranteeing Sami Välimäki is first round leader at 90 to 1.
Whoa!
It's basically a done deal.
Wait, I have that.
Yes.
Oh, let's go, Rick.
Yeah,
Are you
that was
kidding me?
amazing.
I have a soundboard now.
Oh my god, you little minx!
I know. I got a lot of good stuff on here. I'm not as fast with finding it, but
Imagine not listening to the
just
Early
start
Wedge
it, but
Worldwide
we'll take whatever you
Technology
got.
Championship preview and finding out Rick had a soundbird.
like every time Patrick talks, you can just hit him with one of like, "Oh, Patrick McDonald, you're a real."
Jackass.
I got some stuff.
Zach Kasenki says, stunned we haven't seen Kevin Yu's name yet. He was actually my last guy out in my outright card for what it's worth at 28 to 1. I do kind of like Kevin Yu. I think that's a really interesting comment. Jason Sobel, I'm sure a lot of people like JJ Spawn and Michael Brennan. Talk to me.
I will say, by the way, speaking of Kevin Yu, one reason I didn't have him is because he's known as a really good ball striker and doesn't make any putts. And I look, he's been putting great for the last 3-4 months. So Kevin Yu's a worthy play this week. Look, reputation means a lot in sports. I've maintained that if you take Fernando Mendoza, the Indiana quarterback, take all the Hoosiers and put them in Buckeye uniforms, they'd be number 1 in the country right now. I know the college playoff list is going to come out in about half an hour now. And I think Indiana's as good as anybody, but the reputation precedes you. And so I've maintained that JJ Spawn, who's 12 to 1 co-favorite this week at BetMGM with Ben Griffin, if that player profile from this year was a Justin Thomas, a Jordan Spieth, a Colin Morikawa, and then that player came to this event with a U.S. Open win, with a Players Championship runner-up, with a playoff runner-up, that we would look at them and say, they're 4 to 1 in this field. JJ Spawn's not getting the respect that he deserves based on how he's played this year. At plus money for a top 10, I think he is far and away one of the best players in the field, which is obvious as a co-favorite. But I just think that he is undervalued, which we don't get to say about favorites very often. And then Michael Brennan, I was going to make an analogy to, I thought Paul Skeens went straight from AA to the majors and just went straight to winning Cy Youngs. Apparently, I looked it up a few minutes ago. He did pitch 27 innings in AAA baseball. I'm sure we could find some other comparisons to be made, but look, this might be a better course for Brennan than the one where he dominated a couple of weeks ago in Utah. I'll stick with him to stay hot and get a top 20 this week again, plus money.
Did you know that Paul Skeens just got traded to the Dodgers?
Stop.
No.
Dude, he's a Yankee in the making. Way. Come on.
I can't be true.
Everyone knows he's going to be wearing
it sounds
Dodgers.
plausible, though, right?
Yeah, it's the Pirates. It's what happens. I will say, I've been commenting on Jason's play. It's like a ton. Golf Digest, I love their social people, but they sent out a tweet today, and it was like, pick your 3 scramble partners using only $80, and $50 was the top bracket. They had 4 golfers on it: Rory, Scotty, Tommy Fleetwood. Who do you think the 4th was?
I don't know. Tell us.
Justin Thomas. Like, that guy's PR team is working overtime. I'll tell you that much. And Sia, Michael Brennan's from Leesburg, by the yeah. So we got another guy.
Oh,
yeah.
I knew that because
cool.
I know his club was like, well, I saw the video of his club watching him win the tournament.
Yeah. So got a good guy on the tour.
Ryan Zimmerman, I think, jumped from single A or double A straight to the bigs one with the year he got drafted. But I would need somebody to
There's
factor.
probably a lot of players. I feel like it's not that uncommon.
Rick, can you name the Nationals' first third baseman before Zimmerman?
The Nationals' first third baseman before Zimmerman?
Yeah.
So that would have been like the early 2000s or like late 90s?
No, like mid 2000s, I would say. Yeah, like 2005-ish.
David Bell.
Nah, Vinny Castillo.
No, I would never would have gotten there.
That was a fun guess. Patrick, real quick before we
Jim
go ahead,
Abbott,
Jason.
John Olerud, Xavier Nady,
I remember that.
Garrett Crochet. All went double A to the majors.
John Olerud. That was like the first guy to wear a helmet while playing.
Goggles too, right?
He had a soft head, right?
Yeah, that's why he couldn't play soccer.
Yeah, great story. Ricky Henderson, who was once traded, I think, like from the Blue Jays to the Mets or Mets to the Blue Jays, and he was with Olerud on one team, went to the next team, and Olerud was on that team, looked at him and said, "Man, I used to play with a guy who wore a helmet in the field too." He goes, "Yeah, that was me."
That's an amazing story.
That's really
Patrick, there are 4 Taylors in this tournament. First or last name. Can you name all 4?
Nick Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
Taylor Montgomery.
I've got one.
Taylor Pendrith is not in the field, but he would have been a 5th, obviously. This is what we in the biz called filibustering.
Stall tactic.
Taylor Swift. Taylor.
I have one and I might have the other.
Zach Taylor is 12th president, if you want to throw that Taylor in there. I think he's 12th.
Taylor
Bengals
Moore
coach?
has to be in this field.
Oh, Taylor Moore
is in the
is
field.
in this field, despite it being international.
So is Taylor Dixon.
There it is.
Okay,
That's the
that's-
4th
wow.
one.
And
Yeah.
Ben Taylor's not in the field. I thought Ben Taylor might be in
Ben
there too.
Taylor.
I
Right.
would never gotten
Ben Taylor not
Dixon.
in?
I don't think so.
Oh,
No, he's not in the
What a
tournament.
shame. Poor Ben Taylor.
We haven't seen Ben Taylor play in a little bit.
Are you missing him?
I mean, no, I do.
He was going to bet a
vaguely-
first round leader.
I do vaguely remember
Ben Taylor.
on the first cut. Who was it? Somebody talking about Ben Taylor was like a new. This is like 2 years ago. It was like the new kid in town and was going to be really, really good.
I don't know.
It was Mark, I think. Anyway,
I thought you were gonna say it was the coach.
no, it wasn't Coach. It wasn't Coach. It was Mark. All right, we got to get to. We got to get to outrights. We're going to do that right after this message from our partners.
Finished 3rd in the Houston Open. Remember that, guys?
No.
You can't count on accurate expiration dates
That is a rookie mistake.
or the kindness of strangers. But thanks to CBS Sports, you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus.
We're back on the early wedge. I'm pretty sure it was like a wine bet, Rick, between Mark and Greg. And it was Ben Taylor. I can't remember who he was up against.
I'll have to check the archives.
Yeah, he was singing the praises. All right, tournament outrights. Josh, let's see what we've got here. I've got 3. We're going to have some long shots in a second as well. Let's see who should kick us off. Well, we started with Taylor's, or at least before the break we did. So let's go there. Nick Taylor and Matt Kuchar, Patrick McDonald.
Yeah, Nick Taylor, like I said, 50-1, 55-1 for the first round leader. Just going to bet him for the tournament. Guy knows how to win on the PGA Tour. I don't think that's up for debate. So going to bet him at 50-1. And then anytime you come down to Mexico, it is El Tucan season and it is Matt Kuchar season at 68-1. I think a lot of people would be surprised to learn Matt Kuchar kind of playing some good golf. Top 20 finishes in both of the fall swings. Finished, I believe, runner-up the first time the tournament was held here to EVR. And so obviously pretty comfortable in this part of the world. He's won in this part of the world. And I'm going to take a chance. I looked at his year. It was pretty solid. Like T5 at the John Deere Classic. Don't remember that at all. Only missed a couple cuts. So this is a guy who putts a little unconventional these days, but it's working lately. So we like that.
Jason, another guy that's going under the radar, maybe along with like the Nick Taylors and Matt Kuchars of the world, which are, I think at this point, household names, it is Wyndham Clark. And the games doesn't seem to be there, but the talent certainly is. So I assume that's why you're jumping on him at a pretty long number for this field, 40-1.
I very honestly can't remember if I was on the show 2 weeks ago and told this story here or told it on some other platforms. I'm just going to retell it really quick. But 5 years ago, Sanderson Farms, Sergio Garcia was 50-1. Everyone in the betting community was on Sergio that week. If you took a very casual golf fan who perused down the entry list, they go, oh, well, yeah, Sergio's going to win. He's the best player. You know what happened? Sergio won. I didn't have him that week. Learned a lesson that sometimes the obvious choice is going to make some sense. Wyndham Clark, you could say he might be the most talented player in this field. I know J.J. Spawn and Ben Griffin have had much better years, but Wyndham started coming around late. 40-1 is a very big number for a guy who we know has a ton of offensive firepower. And I feel like if he's showing up this week, he's showing up to win. He's showing up to try to gain some momentum going into next year. And then Matty Schmid has been playing some good golf again, a guy with a lot of offensive firepower. I'm looking for players who hit the ball a long way. I'm not worried about driving accuracy this week, as we talked about already. So Matty Schmid is a guy who could pop this week as well.
All right. By the way, Aaron Wise is in the field. Just wanted to throw that out there. Rick, before we get to yours, Max Grazerman, 20-1. We've talked about him. I do think he profiles pretty well. The game hasn't totally been there lately, but again, I think this is a pretty good course fit for him. And we know he can get hot with what you need to get hot with, and that's the putter. Pearson Coody has been playing really, really well over the last few tournaments. Certainly think he's regained some form, found something, absolutely a birdie maker. And then again, Jacob Bridgman, who was also one of my first round leaders. I think this is a very good course fit, coming in a little flat. But again, if he gets going with the mid to long iron play and the putter, I think he's got a shot to win at 40-1. Rick, JJ Spawn and Thorbjorn Olesen.
Yeah, I was nodding along with a lot of what Jason was saying earlier in regards to JJ Spawn just being like probably the best player in this field, and just kind of out of sight, out of mind for the past couple of weeks. And I don't think there's any reason to think he's not going to show up and play well. So I've fired on JJ Spawn, and then we mentioned him a little bit earlier in Thorbjorn Olesen. You know, the record, it's like 3 straight top 15s with one in Jacksonville, one in Spain, and one in Southern Utah. I mean, just like playing great golf, putting up great metrics all over the globe, a lot of different golf courses, has to get across the finish line. I worry about that a little bit, but 28-1 was certainly enough to tease me into betting him.
I apologize.
I want to make one point. And Rick, I know you're a massive data nerd. I'm probably not as much of a data nerd as you, but I love the player profiles on Data Golf. I know you do those on Rick Run Good as well. I love Thorbjorn's data profile where it makes the shape, basically like the 5 main categories. He's like a perfect pentagon. Like essentially it means he's very good in every single category that we have. That means he's a good player. You look at the performance versus the results, and it's hard to imagine why Thorbjorn hasn't had better results this year, but he's played really well throughout the entire year.
I was looking at what, Rick, when you were giving your take, because I was looking at the bottom of the board. I was looking at Taylor Dixon. I'm on Rick Run Good, looking at the cheat sheet. I saw Joe Highsmith was in this tournament, and I saw that he finished 5th here last year. And prior to finishing 5th last year, he was T16, T6, T55, T13. And then, of course, he won the Cognizant Classic in early 2025. Like, where's that game gone?
He's been a mess. It's been a mess. He's done the thing that I worry about with Michael Brennan. Now, like, you win and then you fall off the face of the earth. Like, we see that a lot. I mean,
Nick Dunlap, right?
Yeah, Nick Dunlap did it twice. I mean, so since the win last year, Highsmith has got like 1 top 20, 2 top 20s, and nothing since May. I mean, just miscut, just horrendous results. The metrics look bad. The results are bad. Everything's bad. Yeah, it's tough. Golf is tough, but that's something to be worried about when a guy gets like their first victory.
It's very strange. After his win, T20 at the Players, T22 at Valspar, T8 at the PGA Championship. Everything else is either a missed cut or like 60, 70, a couple of like mid-30s in there as well.
So that 67th at St. Jude was what, a field of 69 that week? And then the 69th at the Bay Current was a field of 72 that week. I mean, they're basically dead last.
Yeah. Jeez. And just a crazy amount of missed cuts prior to the FedEx St. Jude. Anyway, just throwing that out there.
Our guy, Carl Phillips, who you and I both had at the Puerto Rico Open, very similar, that, he won and has basically like just hasn't shown up since then.
It happens a lot. A lot.
And we just kind of forget about it because those guys, there's newcomers, and we talk about the newcomers, and we kind of forget. It's kind of like in the NFL when a good running back gets injured and we kind of never hear from him again. We forget they existed.
And then you, like the century will happen or the tour championship will happen. It's like, how did he get here? Like, why is he in this? Oh yeah, he won 11 and a half months ago and has missed every cut since.
I will say, in defense of some of these guys, what happens, especially when you win early in the year and you know you've got a 2-year exemption, so you're basically on tour for the next 2.5, 2.75 years, you're like, okay, I need to find some more speed. If I'm going to be successful on the PGA Tour over the long haul, I've got to find some more speed, some more power. I've got to gain 10, 15 yards off the tee. Well, what's going to happen? Your game's going to fall off a little bit in the short term in the hopes that in long term it's going to get better. So some of these guys, we might not know it, but they're going through some swing changes or putting changes or whatever it might be, knowing that they've got that job security in tow for a few years.
And I'd say even for Highsmith, I mean, he was playing a completely different PGA Tour than his rookie year. Now that he's like in actual signature events, playing difficult golf courses for the first time, and then you lose some confidence and it kind of snowballs from there. We talked to Matt McCarty the week of the Utah Championship, and he was saying like the advantage veterans have with their course knowledge is like something that's super underreported, he felt like. And so that's why he felt like confident going into his win, because no one else had seen the golf course.
Very interesting. All right. Speaking of Joe Highsmith, let's get to some long shots. Not that we have Joe Highsmith in the long shot section, but certainly, guys, in the triple digits, we got some fun parlays here. I can't wait to get to it. Let me just get mine out of the way. We've talked enough about William Al. Yeah, I have him in the long shot section, Jason. I'm sorry. 70-1. I didn't want 4 outrights in the main section, so I thought 70 was long enough. Sammy Balamaki, I'm telling you, I just got a feeling. Just like Justin Bowman in the chat said, I got a feeling he's going to pick the winner. I got a feeling about Sammy Balamaki. It's going to probably crash and burn, but maybe not. David Lipsky, I got it 150-1, but it's now 120-1 over at DK. I think some of the other places have it at about 100. I think that's probably an appropriate price. But when the lines opened, snagged it at 150. 120 is still great. Those are my 3 long shots. Let's go to Rick. What you got?
Okay. I've made a nationality parlay. I've discussed David Skins already. There's only a handful of top UK Irish players. So David Skins to be the top UK Irish and Nick Taylor to be the top Canadian. I agree with a lot of Patrick's sentiment around Nick Taylor. These are very small nationality fields, 4 or 5 guys in each one. If they both pull it off, it'll be nearly 11-1. And then I'm the sucker that can't quit David Montgomery here.
Montgomery, first touchdown.
Detroit Lion.
Whatever his name is, Taylor Montgomery. So I'm waiting. I'm hoping that before this tournament starts, I can do the Rico parlay, which is the Rico Hoey to win, Rico Dowdle anytime touchdown.
Yes.
Those I didn't find the anytime touchdown props yet,
I
but
couldn't either.
Like 60, 70-1, probably something like that based on what the odds might be. But yeah, that's one thing. Taylor Montgomery, I just think this could legitimately be a putting contest, and he's the best putter on the planet, and he's going to be ugly everywhere else, but he's playing a little bit better golf now than he has been. So yeah, Montgomery at 90-1, and then that nationality parlay for me.
I think the books might populate some anytime touchdowns tomorrow, by around tomorrow afternoon for a lot of the games.
Tomorrow afternoon, or tomorrow night. So I get
you want to guess, because I was looking at this on RRG. Sorry, Patrick, I know you had something, but I was looking at Taylor Montgomery just over the last 2 tournaments. And I understand you can be wayward here, but do you know how many strokes approximately he's lost off the tee just in the last 2 tournaments?
Yeah, I know it was a ton at Black Desert. I think he lost like 5 or 6.
I think it was close to like 7. It was like 6.4 or something.
God, it's brutal. And I don't know what he did before that, but I'm going to guess 10 total.
It's 10. It's just over 10.
Yeah.
Like, what is happening? I mean, that's the Taylor Montgomery experience. But to your point, like if that's somewhat under control and it's kind of mitigated here, the putter can get him there if the approach play is decent, right?
Just like find any grass. Like that's he just played out of a lava rock constantly in Utah. Just find any grass and we'll take our chance. Large greens, like, dude, if he doesn't play well here, he's got no shot.
I considered him as a first round leader, by the way. I just, I had 4 guys I liked a little bit better. All right, let's go to Let's go to Patrick. I thought you had a Laporta parlay thing happening.
So I did, but like Rick mentioned, I felt like a complete boomer on these gambling websites trying to find the anytime touchdown odds.
It's not there.
They weren't out yet.
Yeah.
But Rick's conversation starter, David Montgomery, Taylor Montgomery, you could go that route. Rico. I was thinking Francesco Laporta over in Abu Dhabi plus Sam Laporta. Farzad in the chat has Nico Collins, perhaps.
Yeah,
so there's a lot. There's a lot of potential.
Good one
here. So I'd love to hear if there are any more, but I'm shocked there's that many, to tell you the truth. But my long shots for the Worldwide Technology Championship, Brant Snedeker, 120-1. This guy finished top 10 in Utah. He finished inside the top 20 at the Pro Core Championship as well. Great putter still. Iron play's been awesome. Let's take a shot at Brant. And then Seamus Power, 125-1. His putter's been putrid, but hitting it better over the last couple of months, and a guy who's won a couple times on the PGA Tour. So I'll take a swing there too.
That feels like a pretty good number on Seamus Power. Jason Sobel. Oh, interesting. Speaking of a good course fit, I mean, I don't know how well Trey Mullinax has been playing lately, but he's certainly, I don't know. I at this point, I don't know if it's like a perfect course. I don't know what this course necessarily calls for, but the guy that can get it out there certainly is Trey Mullinax. Talk to me about that.
Well, speaking of name parlays too, I'm taking Trey Mullinax and super producer Josh Mullinax. And the only problem is Josh is such a short number because he's a favorite every week. So we're not going to make too much off of that, but we need Trey to come through for us. A guy that absolutely bangs the ball. I've always thought he's got a pretty high ceiling. It's taken him a long time to get back to this point. I don't know if you guys know the story. I don't know if our viewers know the story, but he actually got hit in the head by a Pro-Am partnered shot years ago. This is like going back 4 or 5 years ago. Knocked him out of professional golf for about 2 years. And it's been a long struggle for him to get back to this point. The fall schedule is it's all about stories. I love the stories. If we don't get a good story on a Sunday afternoon, we lose these things to the mainstream with football and everything else going on in the world. So you need a good story. I think Trey Mullinax would be a great story. Like I said, big hitter, a lot of offensive firepower. And then a parlay, I'm sticking with my guy, Wyndham Clark, and Rory McIlroy is probably going to win. I know we're going to do picks on the DP World Tour for the Abu Dhabi tournament in just a minute, but I don't have Rory outright just because he's a short number. But if you want to parlay him with your favorite play this week, and I like the Wyndham Clark Rory McIlroy parlay.
All right, a lot of parlays here.
That's a good one. Taylor. Nick Taylor, maybe Nick Taylor and Jonathan
Taylor and any of the Taylors of your choice.
And Aaron Rodgers. Is Patrick Rodgers in this field?
Yes.
There we go. Aaron Rodgers he almost scampered in for one, but then he realized, like, holy crap, I'm 40 something years old. I'm about to get crunched.
I had I've hit 6 of my last 8 NFL props over at SportsLine. The 2 that I lost, well, actually no, one of them wasn't an official play that I'm about to talk about, but one of them that I lost was Daniel Jones over 1.5 passing touchdowns. I can't get over that I lost that. The Steelers defense looked like the Steelers defense of old the other day. The other one, I missed an SGP. This wasn't an official play. Last night, all I needed to win $1,000 was Dak Prescott to throw 2 touchdowns. And somehow,
what did he do? I couldn't watch it anywhere. What happened? Who won that game?
Oh, you have YouTube TV?
I got YouTube TV.
Oh, God.
Okay, Keith Mitchell and AD Mitchell recently traded.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm in the
Taylor DeHart in the chat says he'll take the Taylor parlay. I feel like if that's your name, you have to parlay.
Yeah, you don't have a choice.
Bo Nix, Bo Hostler?
Yeah, I'll allow it.
Wait, Hostler's in the field?
Yeah.
He is now.
Oh, I completely
He is now, baby.
He is now. So what happened was the Cowboys got to the red zone or near the red zone like 4 or 5 times and just couldn't convert. Kept going for it on 4th down, couldn't convert against the vaunted Arizona Cardinals defense somehow. So yeah, that was pretty upsetting. They even had garbage time and they couldn't convert there either. All right, let's get to. Sorry, Patrick, what were you saying?
I got one more. Will Gordon and Melvin Gordon, who's now like a golf influencer.
Yeah, Melvin Gordon. Jason,
JJ Spawn, JJ McCarthy to Justin Jefferson.
Wow. That's pretty good. A triple. 3 JJs.
Behave yourself, young man.
Yeah. 2 touchdown passes, anytime touchdown. JJ Spawn to win. What does that pay?
Garrett Sapp is in this field.
That's going to be a good one.
39-year-old. Maybe a Warren Sapp defensive touchdown.
Yes. That's
all I got.
Perfect. Let's go to Abu Dhabi. You guys mentioned it. I don't have a pick in this one. I didn't look at it at all. Certainly like some of the names on this list though. So Jason, kick us off.
Yeah. So like I said, Rory McIlroy, very short number. He's the favorite, obviously. I think he's probably going to win this week. I'm not picking him in a short number. I will parlay him with some other plays that I like, but I'll pick a couple of decent-sized numbers here. Rasmus Niergaard Peterson has played really well, going back and forth between the two tours. He's got a ton of, I keep saying the two words, offensive firepower, but I like it in Abu Dhabi this week as well. So I just like the number on him at 33-1. And then Tristan Lawrence is a guy who won not that long ago, a couple months ago on the DP World Tour, had another solid finish, contended a few weeks ago, 66-1. We've seen him contended a couple of major championships, the Open a few years ago, U.S. Open at Oakmont this year. So he's not scared to go up against the big boys. And I really like that guy. He's a modern day Brendan de Jong. Reminds me completely of de Jong. And I've told de Jong this, and de Jong just kind of laughed at me and drank another beer because it's kind of what
another Hokie, man. You're all over the Hokies today, Sobel.
Yep, I am.
Rick, talk to me about non-Hokies, Tommy Fleetwood and Marco Pence.
Yeah.
Well, actually, Tommy.
Marco Pen. I just bet Marco Penge like every single week. He's just, he's a winner. I think there's still room for improvement. I think he's got that dog in him, all that fun stuff. He's 22-1. And then Tommy Fleetwood might just be the best player in the world. And because Scotty Scheffler is not playing this week. So Tommy Fleetwood 7-1, very short for a guy who 2 months ago we complained about how little he wins, but I don't really care about that. I want to root for Tommy. I want to root for Marco. I think they'll give it a good crack.
Tommy Fleetwood is really, really good. Patrick, we're going with Michael Kim. He won recently.
Yeah, won in France, the FedEx Cup France Open. That was there. He won that over, man, who was in the mix there? Minwoo Lee was. Koepka was. It was a fun little tournament there in France. Good for them. And then he finished top 10 in India despite having some travel delays, which much of America is having right now. And so I think with a week of preparation under his belt, seeing the golf course and whatnot at Yas Queen Links, I think he's a pretty decent bet at 60-1. So I'm going to take Michael Kim. Like that one, Rick?
It's been a while since Patrick and I have been on a show together. I forgot all these.
Yes, Queen. Yes, Queen.
But,
there's a roller coaster off 18, so I think it plays.
Yeah, it's fun.
All right, I think
home game for Tommy.
I want to close the show this way. It was just Halloween. I'm doing a show tomorrow. I've got a March Madness style candy bracket thing I'm doing. Give me your number one Halloween candy, not to give out, but to receive. If you're a kid and you're going up to the door, Rick, I'm going to start with you. What's the one you really want?
Okay. I like the Reese's, but that's whatever. That's obvious. I think I'm quite high on the Kit Kat, and I'm also very high on the Butterfinger. You only get the Butterfinger around Halloween. It's got a great crunch. It's got, chocolate is phenomenal. It makes me think of Bart Simpson. I like the Butterfinger a lot.
You're not going to believe this. So the bracket, which you guys need to lay your eyes on. I've tweeted it out obnoxiously. It's pinned to my profile. Okay, so I didn't come up with the seedings. Our friend from the Early Edge, Eric David, did. He's got Milky Way in the Nestle region. He's got Milky Way as a 1 seed, Butterfinger as a 16 seed. Rick, can you believe it? Basically putting them like 61 through 64 in terms of a ranking.
Yeah, that's tough. Butterfinger is vintage. And what is this? What was the old saying? Don't lay a finger on my Butterfinger. Was that what he said?
That was the Bart thing. Yeah.
I love it. I had one the other night. I had one Friday night. I was like, this is great.
It's great to have every once in a while. It's not like a Reese's where you want it all the time. You want to have it every once in a while. Jason, it looked like you had some reaction, but either way, what's your favorite candy to receive? Perhaps take yourself back to the days where you were a kid.
No, I still eat them all the time. So it's anything gummy, it's anything sour. You put the two together, like Sour Patch Kids, any of the super sour straws or the roll up. Those are great.
The more sour, the better. You like the Warheads and stuff.
Yeah.
Black
Super
cherry
sour,
warheads.
great. Yeah. I don't like the stuff that turns my mouth a different color.
Yeah.
I'm kind of out on those, but as long as it doesn't turn my mouth another color, I gotta look good. But
Check
as
out
long as
this
I'm,
bracket.
as I'm
Quick
big-
distinction, because I love Sour Patch Kids too. If you had the choice between gummy bears and gummy worms, what would it be?
worms
Me
are
too.
bigger. Yeah.
Yeah,
Going
softer.
for like area and
Heard
size.
gummy bears kind of make causes a little movement in the stomach, if you catch my drift.
I do.
Yeah.
So what's your?
I
what's
don't.
your-
I mean,
They make you have to go to the bathroom. They were given out as a wedding present, and I was just housing them, and they're like, "Whoa, watch out, Patrick." Don't worry, vault here. Not that we need to get into that. As for
Too late.
my favorite candy, Sia, thanks for asking. I would say Airheads, number one, easy.
Interesting.
I love Airheads. I'm with Jason. Give me the fake stuff. That's real candy to me. Starburst, love those. Skittles, give me that.
Mhm.
You guys are talking chocolate. You can find that in nature. That's not real candy in my eyes. So give me the fake stuff.
Skittles are pretty legit. I like wild berry Skittles. I don't know if everybody's been exposed to those, the purple bag.
Sour Skittles, even, Jason.
Oh yeah, sour
Yeah.
Skittles are great.
I've never had that. I'm not in on that. Just give me the Sour Patch Kids. Call it a day. All right, we got to call it a day here. Thanks for participating in my candy survey here. Good show. Did I miss anything, guys? Was there anything I interrupted somebody on that we need to follow up on? I thought it was a pretty thorough show.
I think we're good.
All right.
Well done,
Rick,
Sia.
Rick, oh, stop it. I'm just fishing
Well
for
done.
compliments over here. Rick, Patrick, Jason, Josh, of course. Thanks to everybody for watching the show. Thanks for listening to the show on Apple or Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. We'll be back for the next fall event. Until then, goodbye from the Early Wedge.